All right, everybody, welcome to the latest episode in the Monday Musings show. Doing back-to-back recordings here, so I'm going to be in the same clothes that you saw me in the last episode for the Wheel of Time review. It's all good. I need to go for a run this morning, but I'm going to do that after I do these videos. So I'm actually recording these early today on Sunday. It is 9:30 in the morning. Usually I record these late afternoon, but Chris is feeling under the weather. I need to go out for a run. I've got other video editing to do today. I got to work on the short story for the holiday episode of The Weave and the Void for the book. So I got stuff I got to do today, so I'm getting these out of the way early rather than later. Plus, I got to take a nap and do tabletop prep, so it's going to be a busy Sunday for me. But this episode comes out on Monday for everybody, so welcome to my personal vlog space here on YouTube where I talk about life shows, movies, books, travel, food, things that are going on in our lives. Um, yeah, and kind of a recap of the week that just happened, and perhaps a little bit of foreshadowing for what's going to be coming up in the week ahead. And I've been using the word foreshadowing a lot today because I used it a few times in the Wheel of Time episode that I just recorded. Be that as it may, for all of those who are new to the channel, welcome aboard. If you're following along for video game content or book content or show content or cooking content, whatever the case may be, I do lots of things on YouTube. It's definitely a variety channel, and by variety, I don't mean a variety of one thing. It's a variety of lots of things. This is my personal space. So for those of you who like to hang out with me and the things that I do with Chris and my brother and so on and so forth, welcome home. This is a good place for you to be. Thanks for following along. And if you are here for the first time, subscribe, hit the bell icon, all those things. Join our Discord. Links are below. Welcome to the show. This past week, what went on? So, I just did my Wheel of Time episode 7 review. Best episode yet. So check that out if you haven't already done so. The EverQuest 2 adventures are continuing along fairly well. We have more people joining us. We have sort of started to finalize our plans for January, February, March. We set a guild meeting for January 6th at 8 p.m. at night. We're going to be doing roll call to see who's going to be going with us into the Rise of Cunard expansion. We're going to be setting up roles for the raids, scheduling group content, and so on and so forth. Right now, the group-based nights are Thursdays and Fridays and Saturdays. More specifically, Thursdays and Fridays are the primary nights from like 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Central, and then Saturdays, depending on if I do Minecraft with my nephew and my brother, those evenings we start a little bit later, like 8:30. If I have Minecraft, I start at 8:30. If not, we start at 7 normally. But those are going to be the group nights for this foreseeable future. Um, Mondays and Wednesdays here on YouTube, I'm doing Star Wars: The Old Republic with my brother and a couple of his friends from high school and grade school. And then Wednesday nights are stand-ups for Weave in the Void um, as well, but that's on the Twitch channel. We do D&D Sunday nights. So really the only night that I don't do any gaming related content or anything is Tuesday nights, and that's sort of free for the moment. And once my brother switches over to EverQuest 2, we might not be playing Star Wars: The Republic anymore on Mondays and Wednesdays. We'll see. If we don't, I'm definitely leaving those nights open because I need me time, because I need time to read books and do other stuff. So it's nice not to game every night of the week. And of course, in terms of gaming, Chris played this last Saturday and had the best session yet. She was having a lot of fun. And I want to say thanks to everybody in the community for helping that happen because, when she started out, she was just doing it to help me create YouTube content. And she was like, "Oh, you're having fun. I wouldn't mind trying this just to help you make your YouTube content." And I was like, that's amazing. That's an amazing reason to want to play EverQuest 2 to support what I'm doing here on the channel. Thank you so much for that. But subsequently, she has started to have a lot of fun. And this past Saturday, we were streaming the session. We had a whole bunch of people in YouTube. We had people in Discord. Hey, do you want armor? Do you want weapons in game? Hey, you want armor? You want weapons? All this other stuff was going on. People were showing up in the zone where we were at and just kind of doing drive-bys. It was great. And I want to say thanks to everybody in the community because she actually felt like she started to feel what I have always felt when I've played MMORPGs, which is that community aspect, which is what keeps me playing MMORPGs over the years, is because I love that group-based gameplay in the community and people helping each other out, and lots of guild chat, Discord chat, YouTube chat, and all this stuff going on. We got done, and she was like, how long did we play? And I was like, almost 2 hours. She's like, how is that possible? I thought we only played for like 30, 45 minutes. And that's it's like time flies when you're having fun. And then she got done and she was even like, we should maybe think about like dressing up and doing costumes when we're playing. And I was like, if you're ready to cosplay when you're playing, then I think you're ready. And she even suggested doing a non-Saturday session so that she can better understand things like collections and stuff because we were kind of there's a couple things that were kind of rushed. So she's enjoying it, which is amazing. And part of that is due to the community who have made her feel so welcome as a non-gamer coming into this for the first time. Um, that's pretty cool. So I want to say thanks to everybody for that. Um, Excuse me. Let's see here. Book wise, I'm in the middle of reading The Last Command finally. I'm taking my time. I'm up to like chapter. I don't even know what chapter I'm on actually. I think I'm up to chapter 6 or something. But this one's taking me a little bit because I've had a lot of other stuff going on. We obviously got this past week we had to hunt, but we finally got some paint primer for the miniatures. So we may start painting this week, but I might just push everything off to the new year because it is Christmas and it's the holidays, and I might take a few days for myself. Um, we'll see how that goes. I know we're planning on this week. My last day for the day job for the holidays is the 22nd. So 23rd we go on the holidays, Thursday. So Wednesday I have some meetings and stuff, but once we hit Wednesday, I don't have anything planned until the 3rd. So I know, like, we're gonna go do a bunch of grocery shopping, so we don't have to leave the house for like a week, or at least for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 or 5 days. So we're gonna stock up on supplies, and over those 4 or 5 days, I imagine it's just gonna be lots of reading, writing, gaming, hanging out, watching things, uh, so on and so forth. So we'll see how that plays out over the week. Um, I did get the outline done or the outline published anyway, for the short story that I'm writing for the Weave in the Void. So if those of you who are subscribers can go over to the Patreon page and check that out. I'm actually starting the writing of that today, which is the 19th. And my objective is to just get that done over this week and by Christmas. And then Chris should be wrapping up the artwork for chapter 10 this week, assuming, she's feeling a little under the weather today with a sore throat and a headache. So we're fingers crossed it's nothing serious. Um, so if she feels okay, then she'll get chapter 10 artwork done, and then she'll turn around and do the artwork for the short story. But the short story doesn't have to have artwork, so if she doesn't get it done, that's no big deal. But we'll see. But my objective is to write that this week and get that done by like Christmas, and then I'm going to publish it between Christmas and New Year's. So maybe like next Thursday, which would be the 30th. That'll be when that gets published. But that's starting today. Going to be working on that for a little bit. I don't know how long it's going to be. We're just going to go. I like to when I sit down, I like to do 1,500 words. If I can. 1,000 to 1,500 words is a good session for me. There are days when I'll do like 3,000 or more. But again, I don't sit down for like 8 hour writing sessions. I sit down for 2 to 3 hours. And I'm shooting for 1,000 words. And if I can get that done in an hour and a half, great. If it takes me 2 hours to get the clean prose that I want, cool. And as you guys have seen from the Patreon, it's not polished prose. I mean, there's still grammatical errors and misused words here and there in terms of because I use voice dictation, so to save my hands. So a lot of times I might say a word and it doesn't quite understand the word I'm trying to say, so it'll use a different spelling of the word. So I have to then go weed those out. Um, and I have trouble words that are my own while I'll repeat words too frequently. So I have to go weed those out. So it is what it is. But I'm going to be working on that the next week. Like I said, I'd like to have it wrapped up by Christmas, give myself a nice Christmas present of having a new short story finished, and then publish that for everybody next week. If you didn't see the announcement, finally we have a release date for the new Dragonlance trilogy, which is going to be next. I'm going to go look at Discord real quick because I posted it and then Hemvar posted it. Liam posted it a couple days later. August 9th, 2022 is the first book going to be released. And Margaret Weiss published this on Twitter. Returning to old friends while introducing a new heroine to the classic world of Dragonlance. And that new heroine may or may not be that little um, Kender, unless there was a female Kender that I don't remember about. Like, did Tasselhoff have a daughter or something? I haven't read Dragonlance in so many years. Like the original trilogy, yes, I just reread that recently, but like the whole series, I haven't read those since I was a teenager. So mid late 90s. So I really don't remember what happened with the characters long term and who had children and what and all that stuff. So I'm hugely interested to see what they're going to come up with. So um, we are obviously watching Wheel of Time, which is great. We started Witcher yesterday. We only watched one episode last night because we were really busy with some other stuff. We were gonna binge watch Saturday, but other just life and other things got in the way. We're in the middle of watching The Witcher season 2 right now. First episode was fire, baby. Such a good show. They've done such a good job, and I'm really the nerd in me is really hoping because I've seen how much love Henry Cavill brought to the role of um, Geralt. He's signed on to do the reboot of the Highlander, and I've got high hopes for that because yes, there are moments in both the Highlander movie series as well as the Highlander show. There have been moments in both which are kind of cheesy and but overall the Highlander series is a lot of fun. Um, and I'm really looking forward to him leading that franchise into new and exciting places. And given his appeal as a star, it should do fairly well. And it's also intriguing to see him talking about Mass Effect. No confirmation on any part that he's going to be in the Mass Effect series, but he has talked about if he did it, he would want it to be something that remained true to the source material because he's very much a fan of trying to keep these adaptations as close to the source material as realistically possible. Um, so I like to see that passion in him as an actor. He seems like an interesting fellow. I know some people have criticized him because, oh, he's dated younger women and he must be a pervert and all this other stuff. And it's like, you know, it, it's one of those things where I'm firmly in the camp of separate art from the artist. And people do different. I don't agree with people's political choices. I don't have to agree with their political choices to enjoy them as an actor or an actress. And so I kind of feel that way about it. So I'm just like, criticize if you want. We have actors and actresses date way below their age gap all the time. It's never a big deal when it's not a big deal for other people. Why is it a big deal for him? So I just stay out of that argument. I'm like, just let him do his thing because he's doing a good job with The Witcher, and I love what he's doing for these franchises. So let's go forth and see what he can do. Um, what else can I talk about this week? Oh, I finally got. This is a side note. So, um, I did get an Xbox Series X. Got delivered yesterday. Um, I'm excited for this because I have not had an Xbox since the 360, which is a long time ago. I did not do an Xbox One, I think, which is the last generation, and the previous generation I sold in 2008. I sold my Xbox to my one of my best friends. I just gave it to him for like $100 or something on my way out of the country because I was going to travel and live in Bulgaria, and I couldn't take the console with me. I could have, but I didn't. So that I haven't had an Xbox in a long time. I love the PS4. My PS4 still is sitting here. I play it a couple times a week usually. But I've been wanting a next generation console, and throughout the year, as all of these PlayStation games have gotten pushed back to late 2022, I started just to say, well, I don't need to purchase a PlayStation at any point in time. It's not a need for me. Also, I'm not a full-time streamer. I am building my YouTube channel up slowly but surely, but it hasn't started generating revenue yet. We're getting there. We're getting close to 600 followers. Thanks everybody. And at 1,000, we can start to monetize. So hopefully, I'll get that sometime next year. But one of the reasons the Xbox was so appealing to me was because of the Xbox Game Pass, the Ultimate Game Pass in particular, which gives you all of those games on the Xbox as well as the PC, so you can play all these different games for a monthly sub of $15 a month, which I feel is an incredible deal given all the access you get to all of these titles. I have previously always ran a PlayStation Plus account because mostly I like the fact that I get a few games for free every month. Um, I actually finally canceled that yesterday when I spun up the Ultimate Pass on the Xbox. I shut down the subscription to PS Plus because honestly, I've played everything the PS4 has for me to offer. Um, I'm looking forward to the next generation games like God of War, the open world Harry Potter game, Elden Ring, all those things. Some of those I can play on the Xbox, some of them I'll need a PS5 for. So whenever I get to the point where there's going to be a game coming out that's going to be a PS5 exclusive that I really want to play, that's going to be the time that I go out and pick up a PS5. Interestingly enough, I've never worried about having a disc reader for a long time because my laptop is literally no disc reader. Like it's I don't need it. I do everything digital. Um, the Xbox Series X came with I got a one with a disc reader. So if I ever do get a PS5, or I should say when I do get a PS5, I'll get the discless version because I have this, which now has opened up the door to maybe I now need to go out and buy like the massive Lord of the Rings collector's edition set that just came out, which has like the 4K high def entire like 40 DVDs set thing. I don't know that I'm going to do that, but it's available as an option. Also, like getting Game of Thrones might be something because Chris really liked that show, and I did too, and she would like to watch it again in Spanish. So, that might be something we do. Um, anyway, I got the Xbox. I signed up for Xbox Games Pass, so expect in the new year, I've got several things going in the new year. One thing, like I just picked up another bundle pack because there's a winter sale on GOG. I am doing in the new year a point and click adventure game series for YouTube. Probably be doing one a month, maybe two a month. I've got 12 or 15 games already set up, so if I did one a month, I've got a whole year's worth of content I could do just on those. And I feel like one a month is plenty because if I take 2 weeks or 3 weeks to play through a game, and these are not big games, so but again, the time limitation being the factor, I've got all these I got a day job, I have Weave and Void stuff, I've got all these other things going on. I get a couple hours a day for either reading or gaming. And so I have to pick my battles because I really do want to keep doing book reviews because Liam has reminded me of how important reading was to me many years ago and how important it is to me as I continue to evolve as a writer and a creator. So I need to continue to read. There was a big gap in there where I didn't really read anything from like, let's say 2007, 2008 up until this last year. I really didn't. I'm not no lie here. I don't think I read more than maybe two or three books in that entire span. And that's because I was traveling, I got heavy into gaming. Netflix came around, all these shows were out, like so I traded one medium for another and I became a consumer or a connoisseur of television shows as opposed to a connoisseur of books. Um, but I'm trying to make sure that reading remains an important part of my life right now, so that's something I'm working towards. And Chris and I have had some very long talks. It's we have big hopes for the Weave and the Void, and we're hoping that in the new year the Patreon grows to the point where it becomes a thing where we could potentially go full time on that. It would be cool if we could. We've talked with my brother about this as well. We would need a lot more subscribers than we have right now, and we're not heavily promoting things at the moment because we're still building. Um, but we do plan on launching the tabletop um, source book and module in hopefully in the first quarter of 2022. It'd be great to have it done by March or April. That was the original goal. That's still sort of the timeline we're shooting for. But we've also sort of stepped back a little bit and said, why are we rushing towards an arbitrary? And some of that was just because of having spent so many years working on Saga Leukemia and then that the things that happened there, it was very much a feeling of like, well, we've spent the last 7 years working on something now that it's not going to come to fruition. Have we wasted those 7 years? And it's like, no, because we learned a lot of these skills and tools we can use along the way. But starting a new project means you have to start from scratch. But we're not building an MMORPG this time, so there's not a 7 year run up. So um, this was something my brother and I, when we first started, it was like we should be able to get something up and running within a year ish. And we are sort of shooting for that timeline, but at the same time, we're going, do we really have to push it out within a year? Yes and no. Yes, because we have spouses that love us, but also want us to hurry up and start making money with our hobbies that we've been spending so much time in for, the better part of a decade. So we'll see. It would be great if the Patreon takes off because if that combined with YouTube, combined with Twitch subs, and everything else gets us to the point where that is a self-sufficient thing and we can go full time on it, we are going to go full time on it. But we're also not rushing it. It's kind of like, well, it'll get there when it gets there. In the meantime, I have my job, my brother has his job. Chris and I are going to be doing a little bit of traveling in the new year to continue to build up margin of balance because that YouTube channel is really close to getting monetized as well, and we just sort of stopped because we stopped doing contracts and stuff to go full time on Saga Buscemi at the end of 2017, and then that being the way it is, so there's lots of different things in the fire. And when I say full time, by the way, on Weave in the Void, it would be Chris going full time on the Weave in the Void, and not me necessarily, because I have a day job and I will keep my day job hopefully for a long time. I like that job and I like the people I work with. I've been there for 4 years, going on 4 years now. With them, I mean, part time for 3 years and then full time this past year. Um, so we'll see where things go, but I would love to. I mean, I've always loved writing, and I would love to write full time for a living. Um, Probably could have if I hadn't decided to get into game development, and that's a personal choice because I chose to push for game development. So I put 7, 8 years into that, and it has sustained itself. Had I put 7 or 8 years into writing full time, no doubt I would have had a couple of books published by now, probably more. Um, but it's just decisions we make in life, So I'm mixing and matching lots of different things. But I'm also 41. I'll be 42 in January, and so there's also that ticking clock that starts to tick when you get to your middle ages, and you're like, I don't have all the time in the world. Like, I'm not worried about my mortality per se, but there is a part of me that has started to consciously be aware of, hey, I only have so many years left, especially, the hand being cranky and having to make modifications for that and all this other stuff. It's like, need to be conscious of that and try to make sure that we accomplish all these things. Because, I mean, that's at the end of the day, whatever makes you happy as you live life. Um, I like creating, so for me, any sort of medium is cool. Um, yeah, I mean, that's rambling. That's what this show is all about, right? My rambling early morning stuff. Hmm, can't think if I need or want to talk about anything else this morning. Anyway, lots of YouTube plans. We have lots of good plans for Even the Void next year. At some point, I need to go to Fiverr and start looking for a character artist to do some character art for the module in the source book. If you didn't watch the stream yesterday, my brother and I did a live stream on YouTube or on Twitch, excuse me, for the Weave in the Void, which was a lot of fun. Showing people what's been worked on since we launched the demo into the wild on late October, early November. So that's been really cool. It's coming together really nice. It looks so cool. Like I'm really happy with this project. And it was cool because I actually got to the end of the episode. We used the world map behind me and we talked about where the game is set and the lore behind it and everything else. And it's really cool to see this start to come together now that we've been working on it for like 9, 10 months now. March will be 1 year, so we've still got we're what 9 months in now. January, February, March, yeah. So we got 3 months left. We're into the last quarter. See where we're at by March and go from there. But we're pretty stoked. Really happy to be adding the tabletop stuff, the miniatures, and everything else. It's all fun. But I think for me, the biggest moment this week was, on a personal note, was yesterday with Chris, or Saturday, I should say, with Chris, having so much fun playing EverQuest 2 because of the community. Again, huge shout out to everybody who helped make that happen and helped her feel that way. Because to me, she's just now starting to feel the things that I've felt for years with gaming and communities and MMORPGs, and that's a huge thing for me. And she's not a gamer, and I'm watching my wife modify herself to do things that I enjoy, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is the sign of true love and a person who really cares about you and who wants to participate in all the things that you're doing in life. And we all try to do that for our significant others. And I'm getting a little teary eyed right now. We all try to do that for our significant others and spouses in life. But sometimes I feel like I don't deserve the amazing person that I have in life. So I have to say thank you to all of you who have been helping to make that happen because gaming has been a big part of my life for a long time. Those of you who know my story with EverQuest 1 and why I got into MMORPGs and how it kind of saved my sanity from a family relationship that I don't have a great relationship with the parents, and working for my dad was a horrible situation, but it was all I could do to survive at the time because the internet wasn't around in those days in the way it is today. So we didn't have all these opportunities to work online, and so I was very much stuck in a situation of having to work construction for him to make a living and pay my bills and stay alive. And I hated every minute of it. And so games for me were always a source of it was an outlet, and helped keep me sane. And to see my wife now starting to enjoy it like I do, the community has made that happen. And you guys, like the YouTube has been blowing up this past like for 2 years, maybe 3 years. This YouTube channel has just been here as I put my stuff out here every once in a while, and I started to take it seriously in 2021, and it has grown exponentially throughout the. I mean, when I started the year, I only had like 87 followers, right? And now we're up to almost 600. So we've grown by like 500 people over the course of the year. And I know some people look at that and go, oh, 500 people is nothing. I've got 10,000. I've got 20,000. I've got 5 million. I mean, you know what? Everybody starts off somewhere. And um, it's pretty cool to be where we're at and have so many people supportive. And I'm being very emotional in my stream this morning. So thanks for listening and listening to me be a little weepy eyed and grateful. Gratitude, everybody. Thank you. All right. I need to go for a run and kind of get all of this out of my system. Thanks to everybody for following along. Thanks for your support. It doesn't matter where you follow us or where you support us. Even if it's just a simple follow and a comment and a like, that's great. If you want to go above and beyond and support us on Patreon or on our Twitch channel, like those are all awesome things for you to do. Thank you so much. Pre-order all the things we have. I don't promote them anymore, but I do have 2 books available on Amazon. Check the links below. I've got the first book in the Saga of Lucemia series, which I know Liam and other people have like, when are you going to do book 2? And it'll come eventually. But I also have the Bloody Knuckles anthology if you like short stories and stuff. And of course, we are like working on with Weave in the Void. So thanks everybody. And if I don't see you here next week or someplace here online, I hope to see you in Discord, also in game, maybe in EverQuest 2, because that's looking like that's going to be the primary thing for the community for the foreseeable future. Is we're doing EverQuest 2 for January, February, March. I think we've got looks like we've got at least 15 or so people who want to do ROK, which is more than enough for us to do it. So we're moving ahead with that. So hopefully you'll join us for that as well. Anyway, thanks everybody. Subscribe, bell icon, follow us, all those things. Appreciate it. See you next episode. Oh, and also have a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, whatever you want to call it, because I won't be doing one of these until after the holiday weekend. So please have a good weekend. Enjoy the time with family and friends if you can. If you can't, and if you're stuck at home like we are because we're not going anywhere, um, come hang out with us. If you need a place to stay and a place people to talk to, we'll be happy to hang out in Discord and shoot the shit over whatever you want to shoot the shit about. Have a happy holidays, everybody. See ya.